Mm. How's it going, everybody? What up? What up? YouTube Live. All right. Is the lighting okay? Is it too bright? How about the audio? Is it too loud? Testing, testing. I think it's too late for testing now. All right. How's it going, everybody? Right now is Tuesday afternoon, November, I want to say November 26th. That's right, 2019. And I was working all day. I apologize if I haven't been doing live stream quite plenty. But I'm back now because I want to discuss this topic with you. I'm really curious to hear what you think about this because this particular topic has been trending all day today. And I'll break it down for you. Okay, the context. I'll give you the context and what is being reported out there, and then I'll give you my thoughts, and then hopefully you guys can chime in either on the chat or in the comment section below. All right, so I'm reading off of Variety. Variety has this lengthy article today um, by Brent Lang and Justin Kroll, two esteemed entertainment journalists. So basically, in a nutshell, before I get into the quotes and the excerpts, as you say, the article speaks about what is WB mapping out in terms of their DC properties, in terms of their DC cinematic universe. What is or what does WB have in plan? Going forward, moving forward. Now, as you know, the last year were Shazam. Shazam was a box office success. And of course, it was also a critical success. I think fans and critics love it alike. And of course, the recent one, Joker. And you know what happened there? Joker, whoop, shot up to like $1 billion at the box office worldwide. So yeah, and we've talked about the whole rumors about, is there gonna be a sequel? Is Todd Phillips gonna be taking on another DC origin story? We've already had that video. You can watch that video here also on Rama Screen Channel. So now this article is like, okay, so what does WB/DC have in store for us, the fans, going forward? Now, next year, you have, or what's coming to you are Birds of Prey in February, right? That's Margot Robbie reprising her role as Harley Quinn. So that's going to be fantastic. I hear from the early screening tests that the executives seem to love Birds of Prey. I think there was. Let me read this real quick. I think there were some reshoots that happened, if I'm not mistaken. But generally, they're pretty happy with the results so far about Birds of Prey, and they have good confidence. They, as in WB, good confidence that. Oh yeah, here you go. There were reshoots for Birds of Prey to improve some certain things here and there. But the test screening results have been positive, and that the WB studio is confident that Birds of Prey will be a big hit. And then Wonder Woman 2, or Wonder Woman 1984. It's arriving in summer 2020, I believe. Let me get that date correct. Yeah, but it's next year too. So Birds of Prey, Wonder Woman 2, female-led, female-centric superhero movies from WB and DC. Fantastic, right? And then after that is what? Well, the Batman, right? The Batman with Robert Pattinson as the Caped Crusader, directed by Matt Reeves and also written by Matt Reeves. You know the whole shebang about that. So that's going to be awesome, right? Batman in his formative years, in his early years as the Caped Crusader. And then, if you recall, WB also moved forward with Aquaman spin-off, focusing on those undersea creatures. I think the project is called The Trench. So you saw a bit of those undersea creatures in Aquaman movie last year. So Aquaman 2 I think is happening as well, but the WB and DC are also planning to make this trench movie in addition to that. So and then what else? What else? The Flash. The Flash, as you may remember, is one troublesome project, right? The Flash starring Ezra Miller. Um, I think names like Seth Graham Smith and Rick Famuyiwa, who recently directed a fantastic episode of The Mandalorian. So Seth and Rick, they have come and gone. They were attached to the Flash at one point, and then they exited the project due to what? Due to creative differences. Because as I mentioned to you many times, WB is very very protective of their DC properties, uh, and they have this our way or the highway mentality. So when another filmmaker with another vision for the character comes in that clashes with the big execs, they're like, no, 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 we don't want to go your way. The same thing goes, of course, with Kathleen Kennedy in Lucasfilm. That's why a lot of filmmakers like Phil Lord, Chris Miller, and Colin Trevorrow end up leaving their Star Wars projects because they clash with Kathleen Kennedy and the guys at Lucasfilms as far as the direction of the story of the franchise. But I digress. So the Flash is very troublesome. If you recall, at one point, even Ezra Miller, the star of this movie, who you've seen him as the Flash in Justice League and whatnot. Um, Even he, at one point, I think, pitched in his own version of his own script for the Flash. Was it Jeff Johns? There was another person that he worked on that script with. I forgot. I can't, remember at the top of my head right now. But even he had to step in because the project kept getting delayed and delayed, and now with one director after the next keep exiting, and so it's like, you know what? Let me pitch in my own take of the Flash movie, and guess what? Um, Warner Brothers Studio did not like that pitch either. We'll never know what that is. So, but luckily, Ezra Miller is still attached to star as the Flash. So it's not like WB's like, oh, we hate your pitch, and now we're gonna kick you out too. No, 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 it's not like that. So, but the Flash still has a pulse as a project, barely hanging by a thread, if you will. WB is still hoping that they could make this movie happen. The last update about it is the director of It and It Chapter 2, Andy Muschietti, is overseeing the project. I'm not sure if he's attached to actually direct it, but the script will now be provided by Christina Hodson, the same scribe of the movie Bumblebee last year. Remember Bumblebee? So she's in charge of that. And Christina Hodson is also the one who's in charge also for the script for Batgirl movie. So the update on The Flash is that because Ezra Miller is going to be busy with reprising his role for Fantastic Beasts 3, so the Flash probably will not go into production or filming until probably 2021. So that's the update on that. So let's recap real quick. Uh, Birds of Prey, Wonder Woman 1984, The Batman, of course, Aquaman 2 on the horizon, and then The Trench, and then The Flash. All right. Uh, are you keeping up? Good. So now the article mentions my favorite superhero of all time, Superman, right? So this is where I just kind of laser focus and I was like, who? Superman? Did somebody say Superman? I'm like that dog in Pixar's movie Up, like squirrel, like Superman. I love that guy. I'm sorry, I'm not a Batman fan. I'm a Superman fan. I've always been Superman, especially Christopher Reeve. He's the only favorite Superman in my book. Um, so here's what the article says. So I want to read the excerpt here. The studio has less clarity on what to do with Superman, a character who has now been rebooted two different times in the last 13 years, once with Brandon Routh, Superman Returns, and later with Henry Cavill, Man of Steel, without landing on a winning strategy. Superman has also frequented television in shows such as Lois and Clark and Smallville, and I would also add in there the TV Superman Tyler Hoechlin on the CW, right? He showed up on Supergirl, and he shows up on the crossover, including this latest one, Crisis on Infinite Earths. Um, Superman has shown up on television so much, which has led to some fears at Warner Brothers that the market could be oversaturated with hot takes on all things Clark Kent. All right, let me pause there. Really? So you're scared that there are too many Supermans, man. Look, we have ones on TV, right? And then we have the ones that we just had on the big screen, Henry Cavill. Too many, too many. Please, you WB saying that about Superman? You, the same studio who keeps like dropping Batmans on our heads like every freaking 2 years, 5 years. Really, you're gonna complain about? Oh, we can't. It's oversaturated with a lot of Superman. It's too much, man. Get out of here with that. It's so hypocritical for them to think that about Superman when they uh, clearly or brazenly, openly saturated the market with Batmans, one Batman after the next. It's like, I mean, I would give it probably Robert Pattinson 2 movies with Batman, and they're gonna reboot Batman again. It's their cash cow. So this paragraph right here just frustrated me, man. It just pisses me off. All right, so let me read to you some more here. To help find a way to make Superman relevant to modern audiences, Studio Brass has been polling lots of high profile talent. There have been discussions with J.J. Abrams, whose company Bad Robot recently signed a massive first look deal with the studio. And there was a meeting with Michael B. Jordan earlier this year with the Creed star, pitching Warner's on a vision for the character. Wow, that's crazy. So let me read that again. There have been discussions with J.J. Abrams, whose company Bad Robot signed a massive first look deal with WB. And there was a meeting with Michael B. Jordan, pitching Warner's on a vision for the character. I continue. However, Jordan is not ready to commit to taking on the project since filming does not seem to likely to happen for several years, and he has a full dance card projects. Insiders think that a new Superman film is unlikely to hit the screens before 2023. All right. So, did you get that? So, WB execs have had meetings with Michael B. Jordan about the possibility of him um, playing the next new Superman. And apparently, they also have had meetings with J.J. Abrams. And J.J. Abrams' company, Bad Robot, has a first look deal with WB. So I'm guessing the idea is okay, we're going to have Michael B. Jordan play Superman, and we're going to have J.J. Abrams direct it. But Michael B. Jordan he's not married to that idea yet. Because what? Because he's got a lot on his plate. Guy's busy, man, and he's one of the hottest stars right now, understandably so. And Superman Project, um, it doesn't have any script or any director attached to it. WB wants J.J. Abrams to be attached to it, but nothing official yet. So Michael B. Jordan looks at this and like, yeah, there's too much uncertainty here. I'm gonna just go back to what I do have lined up in my pocket or on my plate. So the hope is that WB would make a new Superman reboot movie by 2023. Now, as a Superman fan, what do I think about all this? So I'm gonna give you my thought. Um, you know, a lot of people, because the rumor about Michael B. Jordan potentially playing Superman is nothing new. Um, so it's been a rumor for quite a while, but now it's confirmed that WB did have meetings with him. So my thoughts about that is, you know what? As a Superman fan, I don't mind the idea of Michael B. Jordan playing Clark Kent, aka Superman. Now, I know people have this thing like, oh no, Clark Kent's from Kansas. Kansas majority is white. Why Superman's as whole has always been white. Um, hey, to which his own, right? If you think that way, you're entitled to your opinion. You're entitled to it. But my counter argument is that, hey, we already have a Samoan Aquaman, right? We have a Samoan Aquaman. We have freaking Jason Momoa, and then we have Black Little Mermaid, African American Little Mermaid, right? The Little Mermaid movie, live action by Disney. Who's gonna play Ariel? Haley, I believe. I believe her name is Halle Bailey. There you go. So we already have Samoan Aquaman. We already have Black Little Mermaid. I don't see the problem with having Michael B. Jordan as Superman. After all, these characters are all fictional. These are fictional characters. Now, if you suggest to me, hey, we should have Julia Roberts playing Harriet Tubman, like that one Hollywood executive said, I would be like rioting on the streets, like, hey, hell no, man. Harriet Tubman is a real character and she was a hero. You can't do that to her legacy. I mean, like, here's the thing. As much as I love Tom Hanks, and Tom Hanks can play any real life character you throw his way, right? And he's starred in so many biopics over the years. But even the idea of Tom Hanks playing somebody like Dr. Martin Luther King, for example, I would still riot on the streets. I would still protest because that's a big no-no, right? I don't care if Tom Hanks is nice. I don't care if Tom Hanks is a great actor and has played a lot of different real life characters on the screen. But no, that MLK is an actual character. Now, whereas Superman and all these guys, Little Mermaid, Aquaman, they're fictional. Uh, so there's a bit of, I guess you could say, wiggle room that you can give there. Now, if you argue with me, hey Rama, then with your logic, then we can cast somebody Asian or white as Black Panther. Then no, that's different. How? Because it's in the name, Black Panther, right? It's not Panther. And number two, he's from Africa. Granted, Wakanda is a fictional place in Africa, but last time I checked, Africa, majority people living in Africa or from Africa are not, any other ethnicity but um, black or Africans. So you can't throw that argument at me without without me countering it with that. So, but back to the issue at hand here. I don't have a problem with Michael B. Jordan playing Superman. Um, it all comes down to, and I tweeted about this. It all comes down to performance. Can he sell himself as Superman? Does he have what it takes to convince the audience and the fans that he can come off, you know, standing and behaving and acting and performing like a Superman, like Man of Steel? Does the actor have what it takes? Acting chops wise, can he? Does he have the persona, the vibe? Because I would not be able to pull Superman on the big screen. I'm a big fan, but I don't think I have what it takes. Not just acting wise, but also the big screen presence, the Superman presence, the vibe, and I think Michael B. Jordan has that. But that's it. All comes down to that. It all comes down to that, right? It's not all just about identity and race. Like, oh yeah, we'll have this playing this and that. But can they actually pull it off? That's the big question. Now, to the other, um, if I know a lot of fans especially friends of mine who who are not too crazy about J.J. Abrams as a storyteller and filmmaker. Part of the reason, like, they don't like the lens flares that J.J. Abrams always has in his movies, but they also don't like how the way J.J. Abrams revived both Star Trek franchise and Star Wars franchise. I personally think that what J.J. Abrams did, reviving those two franchises, was fantastic. I was like, you know, granted, Star Wars episode, God, what was it again? Episode seven, seven. There you go. Granted, that was sort of like a rehash of the original Star Wars movie, right? Um, so it's like there's the canteen bar scene and the whole story too, and then it's like yeah, it's like a rehash, like watching the original Star Wars movie again. Very formulaic. But I mentioned this many times in my arguments in defense of Star Wars, J.J. Abrams' Star Wars movie, The Force Awakens. There you go, The Force Awakens. In that, after the three boring prequels by George Lucas, it's a breath of fresh air. You know, The Force Awakens was a breath of fresh air. It's like you get this like an engine in a car getting jump started. You get this, bolt or jolt of new energy. It's like boom. Sure, maybe The Force Awakens mimics the original Star Wars, or Episode 4, I should say, way, too much, right? They resemble a lot. You can say even in some parts, like, look like a carbon copy. But J.J. Abrams brought or breathe life back into that franchise that was made so dull and boring by the episode 1, 2, and 3. So I think if anybody could revive a Superman franchise, that somebody is J.J. Abrams. Um, so J.J. Abrams handling the script and directing, with Michael B. Jordan playing Superman, I don't see that as a bad combination whatsoever. But if you do, let me know. Let me know why that is. Why you think that's bad for the character Superman and for the franchise itself. I want to end with this, that I mentioned to you before. I want to re-emphasize my point again. I think this is good for WB to do this. I think it's good that WB has abandoned um, well, sort of abandoned, not fully abandoned. Let me kind of take that back. They basically does not focus too much on shared universe anymore. The DCEU crossover. Justice League 2. None of that. So now with the big box office success of Joker, and as we anticipate, look forward to the Batman starring Robert Pattinson. I'm glad that that's the direction that they're taking. That they're gonna just focus on standalones. The Flash, whatever, Aquaman, the Trench. Not necessarily like, oh, let's connect this story with that story and then have them cross over into this. No, no. Again, Marvel Cinematic Universe, Marvel Studios already got that locked down, man. Marvel already got that whole shared cinematic universe thing. They're already way ahead in the race. You can't sprint your way to catch up to them anymore, DC. So, look, Joker made $1 billion at the box office. Make something more like that again. Focus on other. And the article actually says that. Let me read to you here. I'll just paraphrase it. So WB actually is thinking about that. They're thinking about making more standalone, focusing on one character movie, kind of like Joker. And they even mentioned in the article, man, I can't find it right now. But they're thinking about chronicling some of the characters in Arkham Asylum. Maybe maybe even make a spin-off of Birds of Prey, focusing on the Huntress or whatever character. I like that. That's good. right? So it's not cinematic universe, nothing crossover, not, they don't lead up to like phase one, two, three, whatever. So it's just like each individual story, and if that's the direction that they're taking, and I think it is, I'm on board. I'm all in. As you know, I was a huge fan of DC growing up. When it comes to Marvel, I'm a late bloomer. Um, so I'm glad that WB and DC, their plans right now moving forward are handled by, so I can't remember his name. Hamada, there you go. Hamada and Toby Emmerich. And they seem to have a better approach on handling their DC properties. Whereas before, WB, DC properties, that's being handled by John Berg and Jeff Johns and Diana Nelson, um, there was lack of vision. There was no clear plan. They're just like, oh, we want to catch up to MCU. That's all they want to do. And then at one point, I think not one point, it even got to the point where they would announce certain release dates for these movies or that movies without those movies even having their scripts in place. So they kind of like jumped the gun, if you will. So now, under the leadership of Hamada and Emmerich, they seem to have a better and clearer vision on what they want to do as far as these characters are concerned. But back to Superman again. Yeah, it's not oversaturated with Superman. Okay, sure, it may look like it because we just had Smallville a decade ago, but that's a long time now. It's been a decade ago since the series ended. Um, so no, 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 no. I Come on, bring in Superman. It's not saturated. Don't talk to me about saturation when you have a gazillion Batmans everywhere. Okay, go make another Superman movie again, and I don't mind if Michael B. Jordan is the star of it. Last point. In the article, it also mentions that because Joker was so successful, and that's an R-rated movie, they WB might even go for hard R rating for both Birds of Prey and Suicide Squad sequel. So Birds of Prey and Suicide Squad sequel, they might get R rated as well. So that's fantastic news. I love that. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below about this big epic news today. Are you excited about the possibility or the idea of Michael B. Jordan as the next new Superman? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, subscribe to my channel, press that like button, and ring that bell. And if you can help support this channel, please do so at patreon.com/ramascreen. Let's rock this.